But so this guy posts a comment, "You're just a Nintendo fanboy." I got a problem with that. Take a look at my title. It has Super in front of it, obviously referring to Super Nintendo. I was a Nintendo fanboy at one time, but I sort of lost interest in them. One of the main reasons of that was because their games were just way too kiddish. They didn't have enough violence in them. There wasn't any guns. It was and stuff. So and so. And another problem I have with them is they're way too fucking gimmicky. Like the Wii. I mean, like I've talked about this before. I mean, the Wii just had no interest to me. Like I just don't want to play it. And a choice between being able to play an Xbox game and a Wii game, I honestly would rather play an Xbox game. At one time, I was a big Nintendo fanboy, but it sort of switched over. I'm a huge fan of Super Nintendo, the N64. The GameCube was sort of... I was more into the Xbox at the time, and plus I started playing Warcraft, so... Yeah. And another problem is, first of all, a lot of Halo fans don't own a kid's handheld DS. I went to the Halo 3 launch event. I don't know where the hell you were, but I would say otherwise. So come talk back to me. Let me see what you got to show for Halo. I went to the Halo 3 launch event. I've seen tons of people playing DS. Like I said, Nintendo... Okay, I didn't say this, but Nintendo has classic games like Mario Kart, The Legend of Zelda. Those are good series, but they just don't have enough out there to interest me into really playing the Wii all that much. The Wii, like what if they had some, like, fun games? Like, I mean, I'll make a video about the Wii later, but for now, I'm just going to talk about this comment. Was this just like that ass man, Matt Cure? Who's Matt Cure? I don't even know who the Matt Cure is. I'm not, like, that big of a Nintendo fan, everybody. People think I'm this huge-ass Nintendo fan. At one point in history, I was, but I'm not anymore. I'm a bigger fan of Blizzard Entertainment and Microsoft. And, it's sort of hard to change your name, if you see what I'm saying. From the time I started YouTube, from now, my perspective has changed a lot on what kind of videos I'm going to make. At first I thought, well, maybe I can do some, like, old school reviews. And then I sort of seen all the people who were doing this, and then my perspective sort of changed. So, that's another thing. First of all, Halo fans, like, I already covered that. I went to the launch. I've seen so many Halo fans on the DS. If I had to compare the DS to the Wii, the DS is very superior for a few reasons. One, it's portable. I mean, I don't use my DS that much. I don't leave the house at all, so I don't know why I even have one. I guess for those long vacations and the times that I do leave the house. And there are a lot of good games on there. I'm a huge RPG fan. There are a lot of good RPGs, a lot of the Final Fantasy remakes for the Game Boy. Why would I carry around an SP? Just get a DS. I could play, the ones, let's see, Final Fantasy 1 and 2, 3, 4, and 5, all on the DS, and, well, yeah, all on the DS, because it's a Advance/DS, but that's another thing. People do own that. The DS has a lot of cool games. They even have a Contra game coming out, which I'm looking forward to. And there's not much I'm looking forward to the Wii, except Brawl and maybe Mario Kart. Like I said, I'll make another video after this or sometime else talking about my thoughts on the Wii and where's Nintendo going, but most of the stuff that he said, I already covered in the fucking video. Like, why is he commenting on stuff that I just talked about? Second, Halo is Bungie's property. Of course it's Bungie's property. That's what I was talking about the whole time. Actually, Halo isn't Bungie's property. Halo is Microsoft's property. Keep in mind that Bungie was bought out by Microsoft. Keep that in mind. So, mistake number 2. I love when people make mistakes. I love when stupid people make mistakes. It's awesome. Third, only Microsoft have the right to own that title. I guess that makes sense. Have the right to own that title? Not really, because, I mean, think there's ways companies can go separate ways. Remember Final Fantasy? Remember that series? Where did that end up? Remember Final Fantasy 1 through, what was it, like whatever numbers there were, like 1 through 3, were on Nintendo systems, I think, because all the numbering was fucked up. But but then 7, I think 8, 9, and 10, if it even goes that far. Yeah, I'm not like into the older. I like the older Final Fantasy games. I don't like the younger ones, like the 10, where all the characters look fucked up and it's really anime-like story. And I prefer the older ones with the classical characters, like the red mage, the black mage, the white mage, the thief, the warrior or barbarian or whatever it's called. Those are the older ones I like. But anyways, getting back on topic, remember what happened to that series? They made games for Sony Entertainment, and yes, they did make other games for Nintendo. Like there was one on the GameCube, and they did the remakes of all the older ones on the Game Boy Advance and DS, and they even brought the Japanese version of 3, which 3 in America on the Super Nintendo was 6, because the numbering got all fucked up. They even brought that to the DS. So, moving on. 4th, there are results that this... let's see, the results of this mod was 007 for the DS. So, they're going to remake 007 GoldenEye for the DS. I'm not really up for that one. Because remember, GoldenEye is a movie-based game. The reason that was made is because of that movie. And I didn't see a GoldenEye movie remake, so I don't think they should make it. Yeah, it was a popular title. Don't mess with it. Don't mess with popular titles like that. There was no sequel. There was no GoldenEye 2. There was other games. There was another there was another James Bond game for the 64. And there was a few for the GameCube. Those weren't as good, in my opinion. But if you have a series like that didn't have a nice sequel, or, it's a good game, don't fuck with it. Don't make, any crap-ass remakes or anything like that. They're probably thinking, well, isn't this supposed to be a crap-ass remake of Halo? Not really. No, it's a portable version of Halo. Graphic-wise, it doesn't live up. You gotta remember, it's running on, a handheld here. 4th, and 5th, why the hell would Nintendo want this mid-violent title on their system? You just said this produces GoldenEye? And that's not violent? You're shooting people. This is shooting people. If anything, this is less violent. You're shooting aliens. Or fucking Spartan super soldiers that don't exist. As far as I know, you're either gonna be... If this was a good... Let's just, let me get my thoughts here. Let's just say this was like Halo. You could choose between an elite or a Spartan. You're gonna be either shooting an alien or a Spartan super soldier. Isn't that what you do in 007? Except for the alien super soldier part. You're shooting people, so I don't want any complaining about that. Yeah, Nintendo has been known for their childish games, but if you can say that they were going to make a 007 GoldenEye remake for the DS, then don't say anything about how violent this is going to be, because it's going to be just as violent. You're shooting people. And if they wanted to, they could just take out the blood. It wouldn't bother me at all. I don't care if it's realistic. It's still fun. I mean, yeah, it would be nice to have blood. It adds a bit of realistic, but for God's sakes, you're fighting on some other ring world here, driving warthogs and fighting fucking aliens. I mean, you don't get much. You can't get realistic with this. I mean, it could look realistic, but that's just about it. So, I just made a point there for every one of his comments. I love doing this. I love when people make these comments and say all this stuff. I mean, I stated in the video that most of this stuff here, I'm not just a Nintendo fanboy. I mean, obviously, if I was a Nintendo fanboy, why would you think I would give a shit if they brought Halo to the DS? I don't really give a shit. I don't leave my house. I don't really need to. But for the times that I do end up getting out of this place, this hellhole, if I may say, then, the times that I do get out, then I want to play Halo. I want to be able to play Halo. And that would be awesome, playing Halo on the go. And I don't know why you would disagree with that. So, yeah, it is their property, but remember, look at the Final Fantasy series, and look at all those series that were on Nintendo, the original NES. Look what happened to them. A lot of them sort of drifted off. There was even Contra games for the PlayStation 2. So, yeah. So don't say anything about how they wouldn't put their system, or their game, not system, game on the DS. And don't say I'm a fanboy. I was once at one time a fanboy, and that was pretty cool. You know, Nintendo at one point was really good, but then they just went downhill. Like, their games, like, 64 was awesome, and then the Cube was okay, but then it started becoming really childish. And then the Wii is just like fucking balls to the walls. It's just not. I'll talk about that in another video. Believe me, that's coming soon. I got a lot to say about the Wii. And, you know, fourth and fifth, I just laugh at that. Results, this mod was a, this was a mod for 007 for the DS. I don't know. Like I said, if they're going to remake 007 GoldenEye for the DS, then there's no reason they should remake this. I don't know why. I don't know, like, for God's sake, they could take out the blood. I wouldn't give a shit. Anyways, I'm out. This guy's a retard. Don't subscribe to him. Subscribe to me. And he pointed out some dumb shit. See you later.